For me, you know, I grew up listening to rock, classic rock, all the classic stuff. Pink Floyd, the Beatles, Zeppelin, The Who, all that stuff. Then I got into, you know, jazz fusion stuff, John McLaughlin, Dave Fuzinski, Wayne Krantz, Bill Frisell, all that. And then I kind of got, later, after that, I kind of got into, well, I actually around the same time, I really got into like a lot of funk. So I got really into Prince and Sly, James Brown, P-Funk. Now I'm into like a lot of old jazz. So like Charlie Christian and Django Reinhardt and stuff like that. I think nowadays I try not to think about it analytically too much. It's just kind of like an intuitive thing. Like I'll just kind of hear something and then generally sort of know how to get that sound. But I would say over the years, there was plenty of times where I was like really particular about trying to just get different sounds all the time. And then trying to find what effects could do that or how I could play differently to get those sounds. It's an interesting balance because in this band, there's so many players. So you want to be able to do something that's going to cut through, but not bury out other, you know, like the melody or something. You don't want to like bury the melody, you know. And it changes from room to room too. You know, some rooms are really washy, so I'll use like less reverb and less delay, you know, so that it doesn't just get messy, you know. And then trying to just complement each other, you know. So like if someone's using, if one of the keyboards is using like a real synthy, washy sound, I might play something higher up, maybe something funky, you know, and then vice versa, you know, if there's room for me to be doing some ambient kind of stuff, then I might do that. So it's just trying to strike a balance between all the instruments. Generally, the bare minimum that I try and go with is I have a Maxon OD808, which is basically just like a tube screamer, a ZVEX Box of Rock, which is like another kind of drive pedal, and a boost pedal as well. And then I have two DD6s, which is just Boss digital delays. So that's kind of like the bare minimum, and maybe like a volume pedal too. I have a 70 Pro that's kind of been modded back to like blackface specs. I have a Victoria, which is kind of like a Tweed Deluxe, sort of. I played like a really, probably my favorite amp I've ever played was a 57 Tweed Deluxe in this little vintage guitar shop in Brooklyn called Retro Fret. And it was the greatest amp I ever heard in my life, you know. But I didn't buy it. It was like, you know, it was really expensive and really old. So, but I heard Victorias make really great copies, you know. They're a little bit different, but they're similar. So I ended up getting a Victoria instead, which I really like a lot. It's a little small for this band because it's only 112. I like having like maybe like two 12s in this band, just because it's just so loud. So this guitar is a D'Angelico. It's one of their newer models that's a solid body. I think they've only been making solid bodies for a short amount of time. They let me use it. One of the guys who works for the company is Andrew Carton, who's a huge fan of Snarky Puppy. So he just hooked us up with it, and I really like it because it has humbuckers, and most of the time I play single coil. So it's really nice for the slide stuff. So I generally use it for slide stuff, and I also use it for this one tune that I wrote called Jambone, that's on the last record, is like all retuned. So I keep it in alternate tuning and just use it for that. I really like the way it looks too, actually. Yes. I don't have any black guitars, so it's nice. So this is an 82 Tokai TST56. This is my main guitar. I use this almost all the time. Most of it has been changed. Most of it's not original. Most of it's been changed by the previous owner. I bought it on eBay 8 years ago or so. They had put new frets in there, which are really big frets. I really like them. There's Linda Fralin pickups, blues. I think they're blue specials. I put a new bridge in there, Callahan Bridge, which is a small. I think it's a pretty small company in Virginia. I think that makes kind of like vintage style Fender bridges and saddles and everything. So I use that. It has a push-pull thing, which activates all 3 of these, which is a nice feature. That's about it. The machine heads are original, I think. This one's bent because I slammed it in the door. Sometimes people ask me if that's like that for a reason, and it's just because I was being careless, and I haven't fixed it yet. It's not super Stratty sounding, you know. It has just enough of the Strat sound, but not like overly Stratty. Because there's certain things I love about the sound, and there's certain things about Stratty sounding guitars, and certain things I'm not super into. This one feels great, and it sounds a little bit different for whatever reason. I don't really know why. And I like it more than a lot of real Fenders I've used. So, yeah.